Hi, welcome back to Doing Outdoors. I'm Benj, and today we're up the field and we're going to make a start at planting our orchard. And in fact, the style of orchard I'm going for is a permaculture orchard, where you plant in trios, from what I've been told. Doing quite a bit of research on YouTube, and I came across this permaculture orchard idea. And you know what? It actually just makes sense. Planting a nitrogen fixing tree, an apple tree, and then another fruit or nut tree afterwards. In rows still, in a grid formation if you like, but by planting in that formation, you're feeding the ground with nitrogen, with the nitrogen fixing tree, and then slowing down any chances of pests or disease driving through your whole orchard. For instance, if you had a whole orchard of apple or plum, if one of those trees were to become infected, it would be very easy for them to transmit that same disease or problem throughout the whole orchard. But by splitting it up with different types of trees, and no two trees planted together, you're reducing that risk. So what I did, I ordered a load of trees off the internet, 2 different companies. They arrived this week. We've got some fruit trees which are in a bit of a bed of straw. They came midweek. I was still at work, I didn't have time to plant them out, so they're bare rooted trees. So what I did is I dug a trench, covered the roots with soil, and then covered them again with straw, because straight after they were delivered we had some really hard frosts, so I didn't want to get the frost to the root and damage the root. And then what we've also had is a bag of the nut trees. Now they're all single whip trees. So today we're going to start planting our orchard, and the area that we've chosen is this area where the bees are. You can see behind me that we've cleared it quite a bit. There's still a lot to be cleared. We've got enough room to get at. One of the benefits we've got here is that tends to happen is the sun will rise in the east there, track all around here throughout the day, and then set in the west, which is about there. Now these tall trees behind me are willow. They've self-set, so what I'm probably going to do is cut them down eventually, because there is an existing hawthorn hedge behind them and it runs down the side. Again, massively overgrown. So the plan will be is to clear all the trees out from the centre that have all self-set. There's a couple of wild cherry, and we've watched them through the year. They get blossom, but they don't produce any fruit. So there's probably half a dozen trees in there that we'd like to take down, which would open up a load more ground, lay all the hawthorn hedge, get that back into a better state. And that way these trees in this orchard will have full sun, which is going to be beneficial for growing. So what I plan to do is plant these trees in rows, going north to south, so that the sunlight can get down amongst all the trees. There's not one row of trees shading another, and that way they'll get the best chance to perform, basically. We've got 18 to plant today. 13 of those are apple, 3 plum and 2 cherry. I'd still like to get quite a few different types of apple. I'd also like to get quite a few pear as well. The fruit trees that I've chosen to plant in this orchard are on a semi-vigorous rootstock. It's the MM106, and I chose that because they're going to make pretty big trees. When I first thought about the orchard, I thought we'd plant some standards, have a proper old-fashioned orchard where these trees will grow to be about 5 or 6 metres tall. But then when you think about it properly, the amount of equipment you'll need to harvest and to maintain the trees, it's just not really achievable. So I went for the MM106. They'll top out at about 4 metres, which is probably just within reach of a picking tool on a pole. Should be able to get a spray up there if I need to spray them. But one of the benefits of planting in this permaculture manner is that you shouldn't need to fertilise, and you shouldn't need to use pesticides. It should look after itself. And the site that we've got, it's approximately measured out at 50 metres by 40 metres. So it's a good area. I've got 60 nut trees, and they're made up of your common walnut, black walnut, sweet chestnut and hazel. What I haven't got yet, or what haven't been delivered, are the nitrogen fixing trees. And the trees that I've chose of that variety are going to be alder. They are one of the best nitrogen fixing trees that's available to me in the UK. There are a couple of others, but I've yet to find a supplier. So I'm going to get a string, set a line out north to south. These trees are going to be planted 4 metres apart. So let's get on. So there we have it. We've got a string line put down, and that's exactly north to south. Check with a compass. After all, these trees are hopefully going to be in the ground for decades, so it's worthwhile just taking an extra 10 minutes to make sure that you're going to be planting them in exactly the right position. So now that we've got a string line set out, we can get on with planting some trees. You can see here where the first row's gone in. Obviously there's not every tree in this row. I'm still waiting for the nitrogen fixing trees to turn up, which are going to be the alder. But we've got a mixture of the fruit and the nut trees in. It's hard to make out because they just look like twigs at the minute, but you can see the white labels flapping in the wind. Right, so that's about as much daylight as I've got. I've got a bit of tidying up before I can get off. But we've made a good start. Got about 25 trees in. I'll come back over the next couple of days, try and finish work early, get back here with a bit of daylight left so I can get the rest in the ground. And there's one important thing that I will have to do in the very near future, and that's get some protection for these trees, because there are a few deer in the area, and they like to chew the new growth. I think these will be alright because it's last year's growth, but they could also come down here and rub them with their antlers, which in turn will kill the plant. So quite important, get some protection on. It's been a bit of a problem. I ordered these trees 4 weeks ago when I had time, and then they delivered them when they like, and now I'm in a bit of a rush to get them in the ground before the roots dry out. But not a bad day. We've made a start. That's the most important thing. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.